Hello, my name is Mary Ramnarang Singh, and this is my Optimal Ethics Research Project checkup on the company James Avery Craftsman for the Responsibilities and Ethics of Leadership course for the fall 2016 semester. During the semester, we were tasked with doing a optimal ethics system checkup on a particular company of our choice. James Avery Craftsman was my choice, and these are the three lowest sections of the assessment and their recommendations for improvement throughout this PowerPoint. The three lowest scoring assessment sections were community outreach, organizational assessment, and the ethical leadership work goals and performance appraisals section. The first assessment section we are going to talk about is community outreach. The community outreach section had several assessment statements rated as a sometimes for the company, and those particular assessment statements were number 78, our employees volunteer their time on company time with community organizations. This was rated as sometimes. Number 79, our organization uses community service as an opportunity for employees to develop project management, leadership, and team building skills. This was rated as a sometimes answer as well. Number 80, our organization provides job opportunities for non-traditional employees such as people with disabilities or ex-convicts. This was rated as sometimes as well. Number 82, our managers participate in local business associations such as a Rotary or the Chamber of Commerce. This was rated as a sometime. And number 83, our organization measures and assesses its community impacts and shares the information with the community. Now, all of this information was gathered from a one-on-one interview I had with one of the managers from a James Avery Craftsman location. And most of my assessment questions were able to be answered from the Code of Ethical Standards and Business Practices Handbook from James Avery Craftsman as well. The recommendation for improvement that I am suggesting to help James Avery Craftsmen work on their community outreach would be to install community service projects at every James Avery location. There are over 200 locations nationwide, including their Dillard stores, which just started their partnership over a year or two ago. And so what I am proposing is something very similar to an example from our textbook called the Timberland Project. What the community service projects could do at each James Avery location would be that their employees or a designated employee would lead the desired community service project, and then the employees would pretty much map out a budget with the community in question at their store's particular location area and go from there in order to decide on which community project to help start or become a part of. The reasons for this community service project approach would be to help bring community service into the company, which would help with the community outreach assessment session in the ethics checkup tool. Another reason would be to help build up the company's reputation in terms of their involvement within the community. And lastly, this would help bring the James Avery Craftsman Company and the local communities together, because James Avery Craftsman, for the most part, hires employees within the communities from within the store areas that they're located in. So this would help bring more employees in the community closer together. The second assessment section that scored the lowest was the organizational assessment. The specific assessment statements that were rated as sometimes were number 87, our organization collects information from suppliers and customers about our ethical performance. Number 88, unethical behaviors are tracked to their systematic cause. such as hiring problems, ethics trainings problems, role model problems, work goal problems, performance appraisal problems, etc. The recommendation for improvement for this particular assessment section would be to have more ethnically approachable managers within the stores directly or maybe on call. This concept of ethnically approachable managers or an ethics and compliance officer comes from pages 245 and 247 in the textbook. If James Avery were able to install these types of systems or people into their company, then they'd be able to have like a stronger dialogue between employees and maybe the human resources department or their higher ups. Currently, James Avery Craftsman lacks proper channels of communication to trace unethical behaviors back to their root causes, whether it be from individual stores or on the human resources sides of things. The implementation process would work like this: to have or hire a designated manager for a position specifically for something titled as an ethics and compliance officer, or just have a manager designated as an ethnically approachable manager. This individual would be responsible for internal reporting systems and must be present for individual employee concerns. Currently, James Avery Craftsman only has an employee hotline number. However, this may not be enough in certain situations, so this recommendation could really help in terms of the long run for the company. The reasons for this approach are to have a stronger internal reporting system and to have a secondary method of internal reporting besides the James Avery hotline number. And lastly, to help the Human Resources Department with reporting systems and communication methods. And all of this information was able to be obtained from the James Avery Craftsman Employee Handbook and from the one-on-one interview from the managers from James Avery Craftsman themselves. Lastly, the third section that was scored the lowest was the Ethical Leadership, Work Goals, and Performance Appraisals. This assessment was rated as a no answer, and this was the only question that was rated as a no, number 49. We use a 360-degree performance evaluation to obtain a holistic perspective of an employee. The recommendation for improvement for this section would be to implement a 360-degree performance evaluation. Currently, James Avery Craftsman performs performance evaluations yearly. These evaluations, according to the interview and my research, they tend to take about 10 to 15 minutes, and the majority of the evaluation is focused on how long the employee has worked for the company, and this pretty much just determines if they get a pay increase or not, depending if they have remained in good standing during the fiscal year when they do the evaluations. The fiscal year for James Avery is March to March, and the evaluations are usually done in September. This type of performance evaluation would include feedback from managers, peers, and an individual self-assessment. The 360-degree performance evaluation is stated in our textbook. The reason for this evaluation is to help give employees stronger feedback and just to help them with their work performance overall. The reasons for this particular recommendation are: employees would receive more feedback on their work performance. The employees are more likely to be motivated to perform better once they have more knowledge on how their work performance has been reviewed by others. And this method will also help James Avery Craftsman outperform their yearly sales goals once employees are given stronger feedback on how they can improve their employee performance as well. This performance evaluation is is more extensive than the current one that the company uses, so this would definitely benefit the company in the long run, especially for their employees that have been there for quite some time. And this concludes my James Avery Craftsman Optimal Ethics benchmarking project for the fall 2016 semester. Thank you.